Legacy Entertainment, LLC, Diesel Horse Sports and Orthopedics, and by the Scoredle app, Oklahoma's source for real-time scores.
From Boise City to Broken Bow, from Miami to Mangum, here's Grant Merrill and Randy Heights as the Prep Sports postgame starts now.
Welcome in to the Prep Sports postgame presented by Aspen Health and Rehab on great radio stations across the state like 107.7 in Oklahoma City, 97.1 in Tulsa. Thank you for watching also on Scoredle TV tonight. Grant Merrill, Randy Heights, Eric King are down all of the games from across the state. And man, we've had some good ones already, Randy, in the first week of district play.
Yeah, it's what you love to see. You see emotion in rivalry weeks and everything, but some games you see victories like we saw tonight in a Union game.
Yeah.
And you just see emotions pour out because these games mean a little more. I mean, you look at that Union-Owasso game, Union now in the driver's seat in that district, to have a home field advantage throughout the playoffs. I know it's week one, but that's a step in the right direction.
If you haven't seen that score tonight, Union number 3 coming up on top of Owasso number 1, 10-7 in overtime. Chris Lincoln joins us coming up at 10:15 to talk about that one, and we'll hopefully have Coach Kirk Frederick on coming up in the second hour of the show. Other 6A1 scores on the NES scoreboard powered by Scoredle. Edmond Santa Fe beats Edmond Memorial tonight, 49-21, the final score there. Edmond North up on Putnam City in fourth quarter action, 20-14. The last score we had there. Jinx Trojans up on Enid 49-6 late in the fourth quarter. Tom Nelson joining us later in this hour to talk about that one as Moore beats South Moore. That's 42-0. JD Northcutt, we'll hopefully talk to him if his show ends before ours.
No chance.
Yeah, no chance on that. Broken Arrow last night beating Westmore. Final score 19-12. Norman falls to UConn tonight. Miller's finally getting themselves a win, and that final score is 38-25. 6A2 action. It was all Bixby all the time over the Bartlesville Bruins tonight. 71-0, the final score in Washington County. Sand Springs beats Ponca City. Bobby Klink and company out to a 30-13 final there. Midwest City over Lawton tonight, 28-8. Deer Creek falls to Stillwater. Close game there. Deer Creek's first loss of the season, 35-28 in that one. Booker T and Choctaw still duking it out in the fourth quarter at last report. 29-14, the last score we had on that. Todd Miller will join us to talk about that one in this hour. Putnam City North over U.S. Grant tonight. Final score 69-3. 5A, Mr. Heights.
Let's go through 5A. Ardmore tonight against Southeast. Ardmore rolls 56-28. That game in the fourth quarter. Lawton Mac, they knock off Duncan 42-7. Coweta, number 3 over Edison Prep, 56-7. That game in the third quarter. Guthrie over Piedmont, 35-14. That game's gone final, as well as Shawnee at Durant gone final. Shawnee winning 60-14 in the fourth quarter. Carl Albert rolling Guyman 42-6. Noble on top of El Reno, 39-14. That game in the fourth quarter. Another final to pass along to you. Altus over Capitol Hill, 48-6. McAllister leads Bishop Kelly 19-0. Make that a final. McAllister over Bishop Kelly 19-zip. Another final. Woodward shuts out Western Heights 56-0. Grant, we've talked about big scores tonight. You gave the big score for Bixby. Collinsville tonight over Nathan Hell. Final 71-0.
Oh, wow. Same score there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just insane, some of these scores. Get the winning track tonight in game 1 of district play. They knock off Lawton Mac 56-41. Glenpool over Claremore as a final. Glenpool knocks off Claremore 21-17. Tulsa Rogers and East Central. Rogers wins 42-6 in the fourth quarter. Pryor over Tahlequah. This game's gone final. Pryor winning 31-14. And another final, Sapulpa knocks off Memorial 47-8 tonight. The final there, Sapulpa on top.
Class 4A, Blanchard beats John Marshall tonight, 42-13. Chickasha up on Weatherford, and that is an upset. Number 6 Weatherford falling 24-13. Fort Gibson beats Muldrow 49-7. It was Clinton up on Newcastle 28-14 at last report. The voice of the racers, Josh Calloway, joining us in the second hour. Broken Bow beating Stillwell tonight, blanking them 42-0. Final, Catoosa, 2 wins in a row. They beat Skytook, who was up on top early in the ball game. Catoosa scores a field goal to win that one 9-7. Tecumseh leading Ada to Ada in the last report. Well, trailing Ada, I should say, 41-27. Fourth quarter action there. Number 8 Grove over Oologah tonight, 59-35. Brent Wheeler will join us coming up in the next hour. Salisaw over McLean at last report, 21-6. That was a halftime score. We'll try to get another one on that one from our friends in Sequoia County coming up in a few. Elk City over Elgin tonight, 56-6. Wagner over Cleveland, 55-14. Miami falls to Bristow, 42-7. Cash falling to Bethany in a game heard on our flagship 107.7 The Franchise, 35-28 the final score there. Poto leading Hilldale. Hilldale was unbeaten to this point and really rolling. They trail Poto's Pirates right now, 46-16 in the fourth quarter.
That one's a surprise.
Yeah, that is, well, and you know, it may not be a surprise that Hilldale's trailing given where Poto was, but trailing by 30, yeah, that's a big one. Tuttle up over Cushing tonight, number 1 over number 2, 22-7 the final in that one. I think we'll have a report on that one coming up. And Harrah Placid SAS 34-8. How about 3A?
3A, we'll start here with a little bit of upset. Number 10 Seminole takes down number 5 Stigler, 28-21 there for the victory for Seminole. Little Lax and Sulphur. Sulphur wins 48-0. That game's gone final. These are all final for a while now. Class 3A has done a good job of getting their games in.
Thank you.
Lone Grove and Pauls Valley. Lone Grove knocks them off 28-26. Lincoln Christian big over Sequoia Tahlequah 63-0. Kingfisher knocks off Bridge Creek 58-26. Plainview, they shut out Kingston tonight 26-0. Heritage Hall, they roll McLeod 46-13. Couple of others here to pass along in Class 3A that are gone final. Berry Hill over Inola 48-7. Verdigris and Jay. Verdigris wins 40-12 the final there. In the fourth quarter, Douglas on top of Mount St. Mary's by a score of 14-13. Now we'll go back to some finals for 3A. Westville over Locust Grove 38-13. Holland Hall shuts out Hanford 41-0. Medill over Dixon 17-14. And one other final to pass along to you. Perkins Tryon knocks off Anadarko 31-7.
Class 2A scores Meeker over Kellyville tonight, 42-27. Antlers beating Wilburton 61-14. Big game in LeFlore County tonight. Pecola knocking off the unbeaten Roland Rangers 28-14. We'll have a report from Justin Pettit coming up later in the show. Washington beats Purcell 42-13. Idabel over Valiant 46-6. Adair beats the Bulldoggers of Dewey. Dewey still winless after tonight's 44-20 decision. Crossings and Chandler go down to the wire. Chandler beats that one, wins that one 16-18. Rejoice Christian all over Salina tonight. Eagles winning that one 56-14. We'll call out to Bill Bush, the old mayor of Owasso and play-by-play man for the Eagles later in the hour. Christian Heritage following to Bethel 32-14. Kiefer beats Haskell tonight 56-22. Prague beats Millwood 37-6. Sequoia Claremore still rolling. They beat us tonight, 19-0. Hugo over Atoka, 14-0. Miami beats Keys. They whooped them, 48-7. Final score there. How about the Alva Goldbugs in KALV Country tonight, 50-14. The final in that one. Frederick beats Marietta, 45-0. Community Christian over Holdenville in the fourth quarter, 47-0. Blackwell's Maroons winless this year. So was Luther. Luther wins 48-8. Lindsay and Colgate tied at last report. That's fourth quarter action, tied at 34. We'll keep an eye on that one for you tonight. It was Davis over Tishabingo, 44-0. Cassia Hall beating Heavener, 47-0. Barlow beats Comanche tonight, 36-0. It was Spyro over Panama, 41-6. It was Jones over Star Spencer, 56-6. Oklahoma Christian beating Chisholm. Final score there, 45-7. Perry beats Hennessy, 34-13. Victory Christian over Morris, 58. Eufaula beats Hartshorn 49-12. Henrietta falls to Beggs. This is a basketball score, 82-25. Wow.
82?
82-25.
Okay.
I paused because I knew you would say something.
That's insane.
Metro Christian over Okmulgee tonight, 50-14. Lexington over Crooked Oak, 38-0. Sperry over Nowata, 63-12. And that is all she wrote for 2A. We've got about a minute and a half. Let's get into some Class A scores.
All right, a few to roll on to here. Elmore City, 22-0 over Hilton. Cashin defeats Watonga, 56-34. Hobart over Cordell, 43-20. Oklahoma Union knocks off Afton, 51-0. Woodland over Caney Valley, 38-14. Okima over Liberty, 60-6. Mounds knocks off Allen, 46-28. Hominy and Pawnee knocks them off, 44-36, knocking off number 9 Hominy. Stroud over Savannah, 56-28. Oklahoma Christian Academy, 18-16 over Hinton tonight. Fairland Ketchum, 36-14. More to pass along to you. Mounds over Allen, 46-28. Wewoka over Kanawha, 60-14. Dibble knocks off Rush Springs, 36-21. You've got Chelsea and Shoto. Chelsea wins 45-12. 44-30. Porter Consolidated over Tallahena. Oklahoma Bible shuts out Southwest Covenant. The final there is 30-0 Oklahoma Bible. Quapaw over Wyandotte, 47-12. Moreland knocks off Thomas, 44-19. Here's a basketball score. Pawhuska over Commerce, 75-14.
We'll go to the phone lines after this timeout. This is the Prep Sports Post Game on the GameDayOklahoma.com network.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at AspenHealthRehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Why did we choose Rogers State University?
I like the smaller classes.
I like a professor who knows me by name.
I like living on campus.
I like receiving financial aid to help me with tuition.
Discover RSU for yourself.
Our education, our goals, our future. It all starts here. Your future begins now at Rogers State University in Northeast Oklahoma. In-state tuition available. Learn more at rsu.edu.
When Oklahoma companies need a copier, they choose NES. NES has an exciting new partnership that is saving clients time and money. Owner Eddie Silkey is here to tell us more about the Epson difference.
They have come up with a patented technology called Precision Core. It's a heat-free technology. It's affordable. It is easy to use. From a service perspective, very few parts that need to be replaced. It's a simple device.
Find out more by calling 1-866-5502 today.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff brackets, chat live with a new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle.
Ken Boyer is everywhere. When a loved one has stumbled and ends up in jail, call Ken Boyer to make the bail. For immediate bonding day or night, look no further than Ken Boyer Bail Bonds. With over 35 years experience, let Ken and his professional staff help you. Open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, accepting all major credit cards. Conveniently located just 3 blocks north of the jail at the corner of Northwest 6th and Chartel. The right bondsman can make a difference. Call Ken Boyer Bail Bonds.
Hey, it's Sam Mays, Tigers, lawyers who ride. Yep, we're riders just like you. And they're not just motorcycle attorneys. They're a part of the riding community. Josh and his team at the Law Tigers understand what injured riders are going through, and they'll fight for you every step of the way. They'll even help you get your motorcycle repaired or replaced. With the Law Tigers, you'll never ride alone. Besides representing our fellow riders who've been injured, the Law Tigers support various aspects of the motorcycle industry as well. So, if you're ever injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com for a free case evaluation.
Condell Dwyer, 400 North Walker Avenue, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 73102.
The weather forecast is calling for 95 degrees with a heat index of 100 and who knows what. If your AC unit is not keeping your house comfortable, that's not acceptable. You can do something about it by calling Armstrong HVAC professionals. Lock Supply and Armstrong Air are the only choice for homeowners who expect more from their heating and cooling system. And they're the brands you should trust with your home comfort. Lock Supply is the Southwest premier provider of plumbing, electrical, and HVAC supplies, serving customers since 1955. Lock Supply is committed to providing great service and supplying quality products from over 600 different vendors, including Armstrong Air, Bradford White, Generac, DeWalt, and many more. To locate an independently owned and operated professional near you, go to armstrongair.com or contact your local Lock Supply.
.16 Prep Sports Postgame across the great state of Oklahoma. I am Grant Merrill. He is Randy Heights. Eric King punching all the buttons and making us sound good tonight. Big game of the week in Class 6A1. Number 1, Owasso. Number 3, Union. We knew it was going to be a shootout. Chris Lincoln, do you have a pulse left after that overtime 10-7 win for the Union football team?
Hey, guys, I can't figure this out. I had to admit I didn't think Union had much of a chance against this mighty Owasso team coming in here. Look at this. Owasso came in here 3-0, number 1 in the state, beating Edmond 45-22. Beat Fayetteville 48-40, and Bill Blankenship destroyed his own son, being Broken Arrow 42-3 in the last game.
Well, when you put it that way, Chris.
Yeah, and then Union comes staggering in here after a 22-0 shutout loss to Jenks when Union was the number 1 ranked team in the state. So how do you figure this thing? Well, it started out, Union just hit Owasso right in the mouth opening drive. The opening kickoff, Union goes 78 yards in 9 plays. Grayson Tempest, their junior quarterback, scores on a 4-yard run, take a 7-0 lead. That was really about it. The second quarter, they held score at halftime. Owasso had a couple of chances in the second quarter. A field goal attempt by Jake Adams from 32 yards missed, went wide left. Then just before the halftime, quarterback Austin Havens of Owasso had driven his team down, and the pass was intercepted by Ja'Cory Jenkins in the Union end zone. That ended the drive there, and it was a 7-0 Union at the half. Then third quarter, Owasso had the best scoring opportunity in the third quarter. Their excellent field goal kicker, TJ Tyler Cowan, his attempt from 44 yards really didn't have much of an attempt. It was blocked by it looked like the entire Owasso team. That ended that drive. Then we go now to the fourth quarter, and it looked like, again, Owasso just totally dominant. Union totally dominant. It was 3rd and 10 on the Union 28-yard line, and Mason Willingham, their quarterback for Owasso, was sacked for a loss of 8. Now guys are back at the 36 of Union. It's 4th and 18. 4th and 18. Wow. He completes a pass to the end zone to Ronnie Thomas, 36 yards, 5:20 left in the game. Extra points good. Now 7. Then the Owasso kicker, Jake Adams, in the overtime, had a 44-yard field goal. The final play of regulation. Jake Adams of Owasso, he had the distance, but goes wide right. 7-7. Now we head to overtime. First possession of overtime, Owasso had the attempted field goal. 34-yard field goal attempt by Jake Adams. It hits the upright. No good. Union gets their one possession of the overtime. Their junior field goal kicker, TJ Cowan, hit it from 11 yards, 21-yard field goal, and Union upset number 1 Owasso 10-7 to start district play. Well, that means Owasso will now be home against Norman North next Friday, October 1st, with a 3-1 record, but most importantly, 0-1 in the district, while the Union football team all of a sudden has bounced back, and now they're 3-1, and most importantly, 1-0 in district play. They'll head to your side of the state on Friday night, October 1st. They'll be at Putnam City, and I'll be there to call that football game for Union next week. But, guys, what a stunner here. I mean, how do you figure this? I mean, Owasso number 1 at the absolute power of a 6A1 football, and Union just shut them down tonight.
They did.
Owasso has held guys to 39 rushing yards and 33 attempts, while Union had 167 yards, 128 from their junior running back, Junior Smith. 14 penalties in the game for 127 yards. So, but the Union defense is unbelievable, and the offense took their own one opening drive and then got an overtime field goal and wins it here tonight. Union Owasso 7.
Christian Martinez Agency Player of the Game. Who is it tonight?
Has to be T.J. Cowan, the kicker.
He's
the guy that made it happen there when they needed the most and kicked it right through and got the 21-yard field goal that gave Union the victory here. Big crowd here tonight at Union Tuttle Stadium, and beautiful night for football. And just a great high school game.
Well, we will see you next week. You'll be in Putnam City, and we will save some pizza for you in the studio because we know the most dangerous place in Oklahoma is between you and free food. So we'll make sure you
that is so true. And Miss Becky was handing out her famous chocolate chip cookies. I don't know if she'll bring some on the road or not, but we enjoyed those tonight here at Union Stadium. But a great football game tonight, and so now we'll have a new number 1, and Jenks was impressive with their win tonight, but I think Union may jump to the top spot again, guys. What do you think?
They may do it. We'll have a Jinx report coming up. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you.
Well, I know
all right, guys. Have a good weekend.
You too, Chris.
That's a great Chris Lincoln.
If she does bring cookies on the road, we can give her our station address to drop some by.
Becky's cookies are legendary, and we will make sure that she stops by here. All right, next up, the voice of the Broken Arrow Tigers, Adam Hildebrandt. He has the night off tonight because Broken Arrow played last night against Westmore, but we made him work a little anyway. Adam, how are you?
Fellas, I am coming to you live from the La Fortune Par 3 golf course.
Are you really?
Noah, my son Noah turned 6 yesterday while I was calling the game.
Okay.
And he's a big golf guy, and so I said, hey, let's go out and play the Par 3 under the lights because I used to love doing that as a kid. And it's been a little bit of a slow mover. It's a little bit busy, but we've had a really good time. But I'd take a little time to talk some football in the process.
Well, how about those Tigers? 19-12, the final score?
Yeah, it was. I'll tell you what, that was a bonkers football. There were some things that Steve Spavital, who the name certainly the people recognize from the coaching ranks around these parts, that he hadn't seen in his coaching career. I mean, it was a bit of an odd game. There was a lot going on of just strange things that we weren't expecting to see. At one point, there was a punt that was muffed, but it was 4th and 35. It didn't go far enough. So even though Westmore recovered it, it hadn't gotten past the first down marker. So BA got the football anyway. I mean, there was a lot of strange things in that football game.
Well, give us a Martinez Agency Player of the Game last night. Who would that be?
Oh, it had to be R.J. Spears Jennings. He had a pick 6 that obviously ended up being the difference in the football game. He knocked the ball away in the end zone on the second to last play of the game. And then he also intercepted the ball in the end zone to clinch it for Broken Arrow. So without question, it was R.J. Spears Jennings, but it was on the defensive side of the ball instead of the offensive side.
I was going to ask you real fast, that play you're talking about in the end zone. I talked to Chris Foshi today, and he said they thought it was caught. How close was that to being caught and being completed?
I also thought it was caught. It was very last second that he was able to knock the ball away, and from our perspective, it looked like that ball had been caught. So it was actually my second reaction was in fact that it was incomplete because there was a little bit of a delayed call from the official. Spears Jennings was actually the player who alerted us that it might not have been a catch, and then turns out it was in fact incomplete. So it was very close.
All right, next up for Broken Arrow, Adam.
Jinx.
Next week it's next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
so it certainly does not get any easier, and there's some things that the Tigers are going to have to clean up. They had almost 130 yards of penalties in that game at Westmore, turned the ball over 4 times, fumbled it, lost 4 of them. So those are things that are going to have to be cleaned up before Jinx rolls into Memorial Stadium. And
you will be at the Stone Wolf Casino for Oklahoma State pregame at what time tomorrow?
Pregame starts at 4 o'clock. I'll be there around 2 if anyone wants to drop by and say hello. But pregame starts at 4, and then the Cowboys open conference play with Kansas State tomorrow.
Okay, appreciate you being on with us.
You betcha. Thanks for allowing me to phone in from the golf course here.
Yes, enjoy your golf game for sure. Glad you could sleep in tomorrow. Of course, Adam, the pregame host for the Oklahoma State Cowboy Radio Network. Let's go to
where's Stone Wolf?
That is the casino that's right next to the McDonald's in the middle of the Cimarron Turnpike.
Oh, okay. I know where you're talking about.
There's like a Subway and a Mazio's Express and a casino.
Exactly. I know exactly where you're talking about. Okay.
I've driven past there.
Sorry, I was just curious. That was a new one.
Yeah, and of course, Pike Pass, a fine sponsor of the Game Day Oklahoma.
Well, that's why
Radio
you
Network.
go buy it on your turnpike, right?
I finally figured out a way to make all those tolls back that I've spent over the years. I got Pike to advertise with it. Speaking of a man who's probably on the Cimarron Turnpike at this moment, that would be Tom Nelson of Squirtle, who was on the road to watch Jinx and Enid tonight. Big game for the Trojans. Tom, and you were there as a cheer dad for the Plainsmen, correct?
I was a cheer dad for the Plainsmen, and you know what my next stop's going to be?
The Stone Wolf Casino?
Exactly right. That's going to get a stop on the way back to Enid, I guarantee you. So,
there you go.
Yeah, I was cheer dad tonight, but as a person, you can't take the broadcaster out of the. I'd rather be a broadcaster than a fan sometimes, so I was taking notes.
Yeah,
tonight,
I get this message as I'm at the toll booth at Hallett tonight, and it's from Tom, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm at the game if you want to report." And I was like, "Well, yeah, we want to report. If the great Tom Nelson's going to call in, by gosh, yes."
Well, I will tell you this. I have been at Jinx before following the Plainsmen and been on the wrong end of games much worse than this. Final score 49-6. It was 14-0 pretty quick, 28-6 at the half. And I tell you, a kid who you're going to be here 4 years as the freshman quarterback for Jinx, Shaker Rising is his name. He made his first start last week and led Jinx to the win over Union tonight. 4 touchdown passes, a couple of them right off the bat. To Ty Walls, he had passes of 51 yards, 17, 60, and 14 yards. Ty Walls, those first 2 receiving touchdowns of the night. Jalen Stanford had a 7-yard rushing touchdown and also had a pick. So those were the stars in the ball game. I like that it's blew your thunder. You're not going to ask me who the player of the game is now, but I can throw one of those guys in there. But Plainsmen scored their only touchdown midway through the second quarter because I do have to bring out the Plainsmen highlight, a 17-yard touchdown pass from Bennett Percival to Tyke Andrews. So that Shaker Rising, he is going to be a stud. He did not play like a freshman tonight. He is very poised, and Jinx just keeps rolling out players like that. So
perfect.
Man.
Well, Tom, we appreciate you rolling in with the report tonight. Your colleague Todd Miller just now finished between Choctaw and Booker T. Choctaw wins 29-20. We tried to get him early because we have to let the elderly get to bed early, but he was not done with his game yet. So
well, I'm older than him, so I don't know what that means for me. But
okay. All right.
He just looks older than me. But
that's true. That's true.
I will tell you, if we're going to give an MVP out tonight, let's give it to the freshman quarterback, Shaker Rising. Now, Jinx is 3-1, and as you heard before, they're at Broken Arrow next week. The Plainsmen now 2-2, and they're going to take on UConn next week for homecoming. It's been a while since Enid's won a homecoming game, and they've got a shot next week.
I'm going to go with the odds they get their first win on homecoming.
I hope they do. I hope they do.
I think that could happen. Coach Woods is getting things done. It's just going to take a while, but he's getting things done.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Tom Nelson joining us from somewhere on the Cimarron Turnpike tonight. Let's go to Jordan Woodruff, voice of the Ponca City Wildcats. He's probably also on the Cimarron Turnpike tonight, headed back from Sand Springs where it was homecoming for the Sandites. Got about a minute and a half, Jordan, but let's how'd that game shake out this evening?
Hey, Turnpike getting a lot of press right now.
I'm telling you,
guys.
Pike Pass is getting their money's worth tonight, believe me.
Yeah, send them a bill. Hey, it was a good game for a while, and then Sand Springs kind of took over defensively. Ponca City had a 6-0 lead to start the bowl game, and then Sand Springs answered right back. Ty Pennington was able to quarterback sneak it in on a big drive, and then Sand Springs hit a field goal before the half. Ponca scored the third play of the second half. And they had a 54-yard run from their sophomore quarterback, Tay Moore. And Ponca takes a 13-10 lead at that point, feeling pretty good. But then about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, the wheels kind of come off for Ponca. They had a fumble. Drake Fain of Sand Springs had a scoop and score. That gave Sand Springs the lead. Ponca, immediately after that, had another turnover, and that led to a 64-yard pass from Ty Pennington to Jacob Blevins. And then it was just after that Ponca, for their last 5 possessions, ended in turnover. And the Sand Springs defense really helped propel them over the top. And, guys, a big district game because, with Bixby, Choctaw, Booker T, everybody kind of thinks that they're teams that are going to be in the playoffs. That 4th spot in that district right now, Sand Springs maybe look to me like they early on, still a lot of ball to play, but look early on like a playoff team tonight.
Perfect. Jordan, appreciate you being with us. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good
George
one.
Woodruff, KPNC in Ponca City. Hang with us. More of the Prep Sports Postgame. Straight ahead, it's 10:30 on the Game Day Oklahoma Network.
Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
Let's face it, high school and college sports have changed, and if you plan on taking your talents to the next level, marketing is the name of the game. That is where the Martinez Agency comes in. The Martinez Agency is one of the fastest growing sports marketing firms in the region and can help you set up marketing avenues for your athlete. From player websites to navigating the ever-changing rules of name, imaging, and likeness to generating sponsorship dollars, the Martinez Agency does it all. Athletes, it is share your brand story. Log on to martinez-agency.com and find out how today.
If you're a coach or athletic director, this message is for you. Legacy Entertainment has provided light and sound for Oklahoma's hottest concerts for years, but now they're helping schools just like yours elevate their game day atmosphere. From providing light and sound systems to coordinating your team's run-through with fog machines and the hottest elements out there, they'll make sure Friday nights are never the same again. They've helped schools like OU, and they'll help you too. Check them out at legacyllc.net. Legacy Entertainment, where every day is game day.
As the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority continues infrastructure modernization, there's never been a better time to have a Pike Pass. Pike Pass account holders enjoy the best toll rates available and interoperability with Kansas and Texas. Open a Pike Pass account today at pikepass.com. Create your own Oklahoma adventure on Amtrak's Heartland Flyer. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, plug-in power, big windows, comfy seats, and 5 stops in Oklahoma. Experience a better way to travel. Book today at Amtrak.com. Heartland Flyer.
Hello, Oklahoma. It's Sonny Sumner, the general manager at Automax Hyundai in Dale City. Summer is heating up, and so are the deals during the Hyundai Sizzling Summer Savings Event.
Well, that's a tongue twister. Hi, it's Roy Williams, and if you're looking for the best deal on a Hyundai, get down to Automax in Dale City. Give us some hot deals, Sonny.
How about a brand new 2022 Kona SE as low as $299 a month? Or how about a 2022 Tucson Limited as low as $489 a month?
And are those brand new cars, Sonny?
They sure are, Roy, and we have over 10 Palisades to choose from in stock, so come see us at Automax Hyundai in Dale City.
And remember, every new Hyundai comes with America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty plus Hyundai Assurance.
Automax Hyundai right here in Dale City. Take the Sunnyland exit and come and see us. Open every night till 9.
Shop us 24/7 at automaxhyundai.net.
Kona stock number Y16946, 72 months at 2.75%. Tucson stock number Y16954, 60 months at 1.9%. All rebates apply. WAC.
The deals are automatic at Automax.
The deals are automatic at Automax.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can. Extra cash. Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
It's harvest season at Thunderbird Casino in Shawnee. Gather up your prizes during our Bushels of Cash events. Up to 5 people will receive $1,000 every Saturday in September. You heard me right. 5 chances to take home a load of cash. Cash drawings every 30 minutes from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday. Come on down to get your free entry this Saturday, and you could be our lucky winner. Thunderbird Casino in Shawnee. Come for fun, play to win. Visit thunderbird.com for more information.
It's like high school all over again. Wow.
I know.
10:34 Prep Sports Postgame on the GameDayOklahoma.com network. Grant Merrill along with Randy Heights, Eric King punching and making us sound good. Some of you in the southeastern part of the state may know the name Michael Westbrook, who was the voice of the Southeastern Oklahoma State University Savages. He just texted me and said he's listening in Arkansas tonight. He's now the play-by-play voice of the Bryant Hornets, a great program over there in 7A. They beat Fort Smith Northside tonight. So, hello, Michael. Thank you for listening to us on 97.1 over there in, he may be listening on 103.5 over in Fort Smith. So, anyway, back to the phone lines we go. Appreciate Bill Huddleston, voice of the Muskogee Ruffers, joining us. Ruffers finally getting a big win against Putnam City West tonight. Final score 42-12. And, Bill, that must make the ride home a little shorter than it was from Rogers and some of those other places you've been this year.
Well, I don't know about any shorter, but it certainly makes it a much more pleasurable drive home. If you were late getting into Patriot Stadium tonight, fireworks went off almost on the opening kickoff because the second play from scrimmage, Corey Gordon of Putnam City West turned the corner and went 79 yards for a touchdown. And just like that, less than a minute and a half into the game, PC with a 6-0 lead. But Muskogee responded on their next series, 3 plays. They go the length of the field. Brandon Tulper getting the first of his 2 touchdowns on the night to put Muskogee ahead to stay at 7-6. Ruffers went on to a 21-12 halftime lead. The only other score for PC West was the result of a pass interception that took it down the near boundary just before halftime. It was 21-12 at the intermission. Muskogee out in front. But in the second half, Muskogee's defense rises to the challenge a couple of times in the red zone. PC West had the football, but Muskogee turned them away. Empty-handed pitches, a 2-quarter shutout, and gets the win for the final score of 42-21, guys. 42-12, 42-12 final score. And a big night offensively, statistically. Ruffers rushed the ball 33 times for 325 yards, with Brandon Tolbert having 98 of those in his 2 scores. Jamarian Ficklin, the freshman quarterback, was 9-14 for 214 and a couple of touchdowns. And altogether, Muskogee offense stopped it.
Bill Huddleston's breaking up on us.
And we're able to get so. Yeah, am I there, guys?
You are.
You are. Cell phone gremlins got you first.
You must be driving through Shawnee. So.
No, I actually went through the underpasses of Oklahoma City trying to get across.
Well, there you go. That too. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but it was a big night for Muskogee offensively, but defensively, I think there were some key performers. One young man that needs to be mentioned because in the first half, the middle linebacker for Muskogee, Logan Elmore, hit somebody so hard that he knocked himself out. He had to be helped to his feet, walked to the sideline. He came back into the second half and made some big plays, as did Devin Whitfield tonight defensively for Muskogee. And like I said, they pitched the shutout the third and fourth quarter and go on to get the victory 42-12.
All right. Appreciate you being with us. Now, Northeastern's in Jefferson City, Missouri tomorrow. Are you making that trip?
Yes, sir. After about 4.5 hours sleep, I'm trying to hurry and get back home so I can get on in the van tomorrow morning. I've been told the alarm goes off at 6:45.
Yeah, we need to get one of those Riverhawk boosters to fly you in a jet like the Harding guys do over at Arkansas. So anyway.
I would go for that jet flight all the way to Jeff City tomorrow and the jet flight home. But tonight's ride home is going to be a lot more fun because Muskogee get the win. Now with a 1-0 start, they got the maximum number of points they could gain in the victory. They'll go back to Indian Bowl next Friday night and take on an undefeated Sand Springs Sandite.
Perfect. Appreciate you, Bill. Thank you.
Sorry about the technical problems. And hello, Michael Westbrook in Arkansas.
there you go. Bill Huddleston, voice of the Muskogee Ruffers on Okie Country. What a 1.7. Let's go to the next man on the line, the voice of the Guthrie Blue Jays. That is Chris Evans joining us from Hot 93.7 tonight. Chris, how are you this evening?
Doing well. It was the 11th meeting between Guthrie and Piedmont, and the Blue Jays have won 9 of those other meetings with a 35-14 victory this evening. On the road, they go 4-0 on the season.
Perfect. Martinez Agency Player of the Game. Who do you have for us tonight?
Boy, there's a lot of candidates tonight, but I'm going to go with Isaiah Hammonds, the junior running back, over 100 yards once again. And if that wasn't enough, he threw a halfback pass to seal the deal to defeat the Wildcats to go 1-0 in district play. And it doesn't get much easier as the 5-time defending state champions come in the Gelsma Stadium for what has to be one of the top games of the week inside the state of Oklahoma next week.
Hey, Chris, you guys have to feel a little better, though, about that game next week. The way you guys are playing and the way Carl Albert's playing, at least it seems a little more even this year.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, with Carl Albert graduating all those seniors and all those talented players, there was no choice but for their talent to come down a little bit to the rest of the crowd. They're still the 5A champions until proven otherwise. but that doesn't take away from their great quarterback play. DeQuazy, Bazell running the football, and they got so many great athletes. But Guthrie's been able to be a bouncing offensively this year, running the ball and passing the ball with Hayden Calvert. And the front seven for the Blue Jays have been stellar all season long. So it promises to be a fun game next week as, again, Carl Everett is the king of the 5A and so proven different.
All right, and we can read a complete recap of tonight's game on GuthrieNewsPage.com, I would guess.
That's the website. I just see we're on Highway 33, coming up on Cedar Valley, coming into town, and we'll have it up there.
All right, brother. Appreciate you calling tonight.
Thank you, Grant. Great job, Randy. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks,
All right.
Chris.
Chris Evans joining us here from Hot 93.7 in Stilley tonight. All right, we are attempting to get our man Todd Miller on at some point, but
he'll be there. Maybe he's carrying equipment.
Yeah, he probably is. He and Diesel Horst are probably breaking down the TV broadcast.
He may have got winded after that exciting ending to the game.
We'll try to get either Brad Cameron or Tony Daniels on here in the next few minutes. I know they're next up on our list. We kind of take reservations around here to get on. All right, let's go to the old ball coach, Tony Daniels, who was at Okmulgee tonight, Metro Christian, and Okmulgee it out. And how are you, Coach?
I'm doing well. Thank you all for having me.
Well, give us a synopsis of how that ball game went tonight.
So the final score ended up being 50-14 Metro. I just like getting out to some football games, and last week, reported with Verdigris and where we stay. But it was great to get out to kind of watch something a little bit different, especially in 2A football. Metro has a quarterback by the name of Kirk Francis. He's a 2023. And I feel like he's one of the top quarterbacks in the state of Oklahoma. He ended up finishing 24 of 32, 284 yards and 4 touchdown passes. The leading receiver for the night was Seth McCoy. Jaredson, the head coach for Metro, he had 7 receptions for 105 yards. Okmulgee ended up getting on the board kind of in the fourth quarter with 2 touchdowns, but the final score tonight was 50-14.
Our Martinez Agency player of the game for Metro, who's that going to be tonight?
Oh, definitely be Kirk Francis, quarterback.
All right, brother. Well, where are you at next? You're kind of the roving coach now. Do you know where you're going next Friday?
I don't. I kind of like planning everything out and seeing which game I like to go to. I kind of like looking at matchups, and if there's something else that's kind of around here. I know next week Verdigris plays Berry Hill. At Berry Hill, I do believe.
Yes.
So that's going to be a good one come next week. But I do know Metro again next week. They have Henrietta at Henrietta next week.
Berry Hill was all over Inola tonight, and I think they ended up winning that game. So
I believe so.
That'll be a good game between Berry Hill and Verdigris for sure. So anyway.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach. Thank you for being with us.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That is the great Tony Daniels joining us tonight here on the Prep Sports Post Game. It's all presented by Aspen Health and Rehab. If you're looking for long-term care, outpatient rehabilitation, inpatient rehabilitation, they've got it at Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow. Be sure and give them a visit at some point.
And when you're not in a studio, what Tony does is kind of cool, being able to go around, find the hot game of the week. In Oklahoma, there are good games in whatever area you're at to go check out, especially when you're in the metro areas of the Tulsa Metro, the Oklahoma City Metro, so many suburbs around. You can find a good game every Friday night.
Absolutely, and he loves watching them, that's for sure. He was, of course, head coach at Edison until last year, and it kind of brings a different perspective to some of those call-ins on our show. It is 10:43. Let's go to the voice of the Sallisaw Black Diamonds tonight, the one and only Brad Cameron, who joins us from out in eastern Oklahoma. Bradley, how are you tonight?
I'm good, guys. How are y'all?
Good. I'm fine. Things looking good for Sallisaw. When I was watching earlier this evening, how did it end up turning out?
The Diamonds got their first win of the season. It was a great game for Sallisaw. We moved the football on the ground very well. Played excellent defense. Had 2 takeaways. Can't ask for anything better to start district play if you're the Black Diamonds.
Well, give us a Martinez Agency player of the game. Who's that going to be tonight?
We had running back Ashton Foster for the Black Diamonds, had 190 yards on the ground, did an this evening.
All right, and of course, Sallisaw getting that first win. It was a home win, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was homecoming tonight, so you got those extra distractions, but the Diamonds did a good job. They stayed focused and did an excellent job tonight, guys.
All right, Brad, next up for Sallisaw.
We got Muldrow next week on the road. It'll be our second district game, so it's kind of a rivalry down here.
That's the big one for sure, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right,
sir.
Brad, appreciate you. Thank you.
No problem. Good show, guys. Enjoy it.
Brad Cameron joining us, the voice of the Sallisaw Black Diamonds. This man had the call of the flagships game of the week between Bethany and Cash tonight. The good doctor, Sean Thurman, joining us here on the Game Day Oklahoma Prep Sports Post Game. How are you, Sean?
Doing excellent, gentlemen. How are you guys?
Doing good, Sean. We actually had a good one this week.
We did. First single-digit final score season. I hope you can arrange some more of those this season, Randy.
We'll work on that. Tell us a little bit about your game, Sean.
Well, tonight we had Cash coming into Bethany, a couple of teams coming at 2-1, both coming off their first loss of the season and both coming off a bye to open district play. So the stage was set for a pretty good matchup, and that is what we had. It started on the opening possession, where both teams just went down the field on each other and scored on their opening possessions, but Bethany missed their extra points, so Cash had a 7-6 lead, and they carried that 1-point lead into the second half. It was 14-13 Cash lead at halftime. However, one thing you noticed throughout the game was that Cash absolutely feared Jocelyn Maloska and the Bethany punt team. Maloska, the Texas Tech commit, coming in as an athlete, also plays punter for Bethany. And so the entire first half and most of the game, they would not even send a return man back on punts out of the fear of he was going to do something. Well, finally, late in the game, they, I guess, felt comfortable enough that Bethany was going to punt it from inside their own 30. Well, that's when Coach John called the fake. Jocelyn Maloska throws a rope for a completion and a first down. Bethany continues to drive. They end up scoring a touchdown to take a two-touchdown lead. Cash on their next possession was able to could not convert, had to punt. They decided to punt with a little less than 4 minutes to go. That punt was blocked by Bethany. Bethany recovered the punt, but then fumbled it. So Cash got the ball back at their own 4-yard line with less than 3 minutes to go. They drove 96 yards throwing the ball, which is something they had not done the entire game. Tyler Miles hooking up with Jalen Nido most of the way down the field. They were able to get within 7. They went for the onside kick with about 30 seconds left. It bounced off a Bethany player. They were not able to recover it, though, as that player was able to fall on it, and Bethany comes away with the 35-28 victory. Guys, Bethany runs a 2-quarterback system. They have Taylor Hine. They have Kale Wetwiska. They switch them out from possession to possession. In the first half, it was Hines' 2 possessions that resulted in touchdowns. In the second half, Hines played the whole second half, and that made a big difference for the Broncos tonight.
Sean, up against a hard break. Thanks for the report. Appreciate you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Sean Thurman, 107.7 The Franchise. More of the Prep Sports Post Game right after this.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at aspenhealthrehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff brackets, chat live with a new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score.
Why did we choose Rogers State University?
I like the smaller classes. I like a professor who knows me by name.
I like living on campus.
I like receiving financial aid to help me with tuition.
Discover RSU for yourself.
Our education, our goals, our future. It all starts here. Your future begins now at Rogers State University in Northeast Oklahoma. In-state tuition available. Learn more at rsu.edu.
As the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority continues infrastructure modernization, there's never been a better time to have a Pike Pass. Pike Pass account holders enjoy the best toll rates available and interoperability with Kansas and Texas. Open a Pike Pass account today at pikepass.com. Create your own Oklahoma adventure on Amtrak's Heartland Flyer. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, plug-in power, big windows, comfy seats, and 5 stops in Oklahoma. Experience a better way to travel. Book today at Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer.
The Choctaw have always been guardians of our tribal members and neighbors near and far. From the Tushka that defended our villages to aid given to the Irish during the potato famine. Today, the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma guards the well-being of our communities through a network of health initiatives. We protect Oklahoma through our disaster response team, and we preserve our heritage through cultural activities. Together, we're there for members and neighbors, because together, we're more.
Case and Associates is hiring. If you like to be outdoors with great benefits, Case and Associates is accepting applications right now. Positions needed are groundkeepers, painters, and maintenance assistants. Part-time and full-time positions are available with flexible schedules and competitive wages. Receive benefits like 401k, paid time off, health, vision, and dental. What are you waiting for? Visit Mission Point Apartments in Moore or Stonehorse Crossing Apartments on North May, north of Memorial.
I'm on the mountains. I get to see this with my own eyes. Wow.
Just going for a run and working out and not having to worry about my contacts or my glasses.
What will you do with your clear?
We've done whitewater rafting and it would have been impossible. In fact, you aren't allowed to wear glasses during it.
Life after LASIK means life without limits for patient after patient after patient. Thanks to Dr. Luke and his team at Clearsight.
Patients are able to say, this is what I can now do with my clear vision. Flying without glasses for the first time, or they're climbing a mountain without glasses. They're able to travel. They're able to go to the lake. This is what I...
It starts with a free, no obligation eye exam.
I make sure to text every single one of my patients with my personal cell, and sometimes they'll send me pictures or videos.
Have your free exam at Clearsight by September 30th and get a new pair of Maui Jim, Ray-Ban, or K-Space sunglasses on us when you have your LASIK.
Go out the door and just live my life to the fullest.
Call 733-2020 or visit clearsight.com.
I mean, every day it's something new. I'm discovering new things with my new eyes.
10:52 across the great state of Oklahoma. This is the Prep Sports Postgame presented by Aspen Health and Rehab. I'm Grant Merrill. He is Randy Heights here at King, punching all the buttons and making us sound good on 22 great radio stations across Oklahoma and Arkansas. We had a big game tonight between the Rejoice Christian Eagles and Salina. It seemed to be all rejoice all the time. The man that called that was the Most High Mayor of Owasso, Bill Bush. How are you, Bill?
Hey, doing well, Grant. I'm actually here in the locker room for Rejoice Christian.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you talk to the head man here, Brent Marley, on this big victory on homecoming night.
Well, we might as well. Coach, how are you?
Hey, Grant.
Hey, how are you? Big win tonight.
Good. Yeah, doing good. Thank you. We had a great crowd homecoming. It was there was more people in Rejoice Stadium tonight than we've had since we opened schools. So
wow,
it was a cool deal.
Well, you guys are really rolling this year. Of course, I was at halftime of the game that we played on our flagship in Oklahoma City. I was listening, and they were talking about how lopsided the Rejoice lead was. You guys really got out big, got out fast, and really came away with a big win tonight.
Yeah, we did. We, like I said, we started the game great opening series, tackled them an opening kickoff inside the 10, went 3 and out on them, and then we roughed the punter and then actually fumbled the punt. They declined it, and they got the ball, and we just kept them around there for a while, and thankfully got the lead by a touchdown going into halftime, and then in the second half just settled down and just started playing and had a great second half. And so anyway, yeah, it was a lot of kids got to play, a lot of kids got to touch the ball. Of course, Chance Wilson had another great night at quarterback, great numbers, video game numbers, and Solomon Morton had an 83-yard kickoff return in the first half, and so just some good stuff going on out there.
Brent, if you were to name a Martinez Agency player of the game tonight, who's that going to be for the Eagles?
Chance Wilson.
Perfect. Well, and I hear that there's another Marley in the house that's doing some pretty big things on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, Yeah, Kells played safety tonight again in his second game to start, and played well. I don't think he had quite as many tackles as he did last week, but had a touchdown reception. I think a 40-yard touchdown reception late. Had a couple of the good plays. But yeah, it's been fun having him and Caden. You know, Caden's playing linebacker and having a senior son and a freshman son out there together. It's fun listening to them argue on the sideline, and one of them doesn't hold up their end of the deal.
As long as they don't argue with Dad, right?
That's right. That's
All right. Well, does Bill Bush have a voice left after calling a 56-14 contest tonight?
I think he does. They're all handing the phone.
All right. Appreciate you, Brent. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Grant.
Brent Marley joining us here this evening. And Bill Bush, who does Rejoice have next week?
We have the Kansas Comets next week. We go back on the road over to Kansas, and that is in Oklahoma, not in Kansas.
Well, we always say on this show the Kansas Comets are probably better than the Kansas Jayhawks. So anyway,
they probably are. We thought I mistakenly announced last week and this week, looking at an old Max Prep schedule. But yeah, we do have the Kansas Comets on the road next week.
All right, Bill. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
That is Bill Bush, the voice of the Rejoice Christian Eagles. From Squirtle TV, here's a man who had a big one. He and Todd Miller called Choctaw and Booker T tonight. Yellow Jackets winning another one. One loss on the season so far for them after this evening. Adam Dieselhorse, how are you, sir?
No, I'm good. I'm cruising north on a Hiawassee Road, so I hope I do not lose you guys.
Well, we tried to get Todd Miller like 3 or 4 times, and he had a prior engagement this evening, apparently. So he big-timed us a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, he's definitely the big time of the two of us, for sure. You got the B group now.
Well, that's okay. We'll get Todd Miller next week. But anyway, tell us about Choctaw and Booker T. That looked like a shootout.
Yeah, I tell you, athletes everywhere. I don't have to tell anybody that's out there listening. We know the names on both sides of this matchup. But, really the thing that stood out to us when we called the game was 47 penalties, guys.
Wow.
On both sides of the ball. And obviously Gentry Williams had to leave the game early because of 2 unsportsmanlike conducts. The game was chippy, but it wasn't chippy like in a horrible way. Just 2 really competitive teams that you could tell wanted to win that game. Choctaw, to me, was the better team tonight. It's hard to tell. Choctaw actually had their stud offensive tackle that's committed to TCU had to sit out of the game, and then obviously Booker T lost Gentry Williams, and so 2 of those kind of key players were out of the game. So I kind of leveled the playing field. But Choctaw after the 8-7 halftime lead kind of controlled the game for the most part. And asked me about my Martinez player of the game, so I'll just take a step ahead of you, and I'm going to give it to Deshaun Brown, the defensive end, and whatever he is, he's all over the place. The guy is a star. I mean, he was unblockable the entire game.
Hey, Adam, Choctaw's off to a great start. Is this kind of that first game where you look at and go, kind of thought they were for real, but this is the one where you're like, yeah, they're a contender in 6A too?
They are for real. They are, and they have athletes all over the place. Obviously, the Steele, their quarterback, is a stud. He's got a great arm. They have great weapons in the wide receiver positions. The tailback Ray is electric. And the thing to me that really stood out was their speed on defense. I mean, they just swarm to the ball. They have an attacking style. And, when I saw that score last year when they played Bixby in the finals and they hold Bixby, I think, to 17 points. And I'm wondering how they did that. Well, I got to see firsthand how they did that watching them tonight. And they play them in 2 weeks. And we're hoping we're going to be able to cover that game also. So
yes.
We'll give you guys a heads up and let you know.
All right. I need you to do me a favor, Adam, if you can.
You bet.
You're the man with the connections. Randy kind of has a problem with an HTO addiction.
Whatever.
If you could bring like a large tank of the tea over here, if you could get Lane and the guys at HTO
I just go through the drive-through 2 to 3 times a day.
He's got like 7 styrofoam cups full of HTO here. So I just
have you guys tried the root beer yet?
No, I wasn't sure if they had it. It wasn't on the. I didn't notice it on the menu today.
They just unveiled it in Tulsa. I went to Fort Smith, Arkansas this afternoon to get my daughter. I've been in the car all day. But when we got back from Fort Smith, that was the first thing. She was like, I need you to take me over there and get me some of that root beer because I just saw on Instagram that it apparently dropped today. So
Adam, you recommend it?
it would cause a lot more empty styrofoam cups for you, Randy.
Oh, great. That's what I need. Yeah.
Okay, well.
Happy hour 2 to 4.
Well, yeah,
Yes,
he
sir.
knows. I'm telling you, he knows. All right, well, Adam, we will be anxiously awaiting the Squirtle Game of the Week announcements coming up on Monday. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it so much. Thanks for everything you're doing.
No problem. See you, Adam.
Adam Dieselhorse, Squirtle TV. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Prep Sports Post Game on the Oklahoma Network.
KRXO FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media. Vote the franchise your favorite station for sports. Tonight, in every part of our state, the games have been played and champions are being made. And we're covering every single matchup. From GameDayOklahoma.com, this is the Prep Sports Postgame, presented by Aspen Health and Rehab. We're taking you all the way up to midnight as we check in with the state's leading coaches and broadcasters for reports on tonight's game. The Prep Sports Postgame is also brought to you by
Pike Pass and the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, Billy Sims Barbecue, Rogers State University, Pioneer Cellular, NES, Oklahoma's #1 choice for Epson quality office products, by the Martinez Agency, the Cherokee Nation, Legacy Entertainment LLC, Diesel Horse Sports and Orthopedics, and by the Squirtle app, Oklahoma's source for real-time scores.
From Boise City to Broken Bow, from Miami to Mangum, here's Grant Merrill and Randy Heights as the Prep Sports postgame starts now.
Hour number 2 of the Prep Sports Postgame on the GameDayOklahoma.com network. Grant Merrill along with Randy Heights, Eric King punching all the buttons, taking the calls, and making us sound good tonight. It's 11:01, and we appreciate you joining us all across the state of Oklahoma. A man who called a great game between the Roland Rangers and Pocola tonight joins us live from somewhere in LaFleur County. That's Justin Pettit from the Mix 105.1 tonight. Justin, how are you?
Hey, Grant, doing well. Actually, already back at the house.
Okay.
Even though it was a long game, lots of penalties in this game. I've been in this a long time, Grant, and this is the most penalties I've ever seen in a football game. As Roland and Pocola, it just affected the flow of the game. Just wasn't much happening, but Pocola comes away with the big victory, 28-14. They're now 3-1 on the season. If you've never seen Pocola, it's kind of a single wing. It's weird. They actually will have 2 or 3 guys lined up at the quarterback position. You don't know which one's going to get it. So it's a little bit of a misdirection type thing, but a big win for Coach Parker and his team to open up district play, 28-14. And again, Roland had the plays. They played well on offense and defense, but just the penalties. I've never seen so many penalties in my life. Just could not get any flow going, and it was on both sides, not just one sided.
Right.
So the officials were not. They were handing it out left and right, but. Again, a big win for Coach Jason Parker and the Pocola Indians, already tripling their win total from last year.
Justin, who's your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight?
That would be Ian Hardwick from Pocola. The young man had 58 yards rushing, 123 yards passing. Randy's not even the quarterback. That's the way they line it up. And he had 123 yards passing, including a 52-yard touchdown pass. He also had a couple of interceptions on defense, and he was all over the place. So Ian Hardwick is the player of the game for sure.
Where Mixed Microphone next Friday?
We're still deciding. We got a couple of big games. We got the same Roland team taking on Vian. Central and Gore are going to meet, and then Cassia Hall is coming down to Spiro. So we're going to meet on Monday and try to figure a game out.
All right, brother. Appreciate you being on with us tonight.
You got it, my friends. Talk to you next week.
All right, Justin Pettit joining us from the Mix 105.1 tonight. Well, the next person on our list ought to be a pretty happy camper this evening after a 10-7 win over the #1 Owasso Rams tonight. That is Kirk Frederick. He is the coach of the Union football team tonight. Coach, do you have any breath left in you after that game tonight?
It was pretty intense, but obviously you feel a little inspired afterwards when you get a big win like that. So proud of our kids.
Well, we were actually watching it in the studios here in Oklahoma City on the Cox Game of the Week, and I tell you that we knew it was going to be a good one when it was 7-0 at halftime. I don't think anybody expected the score to be that low, but you guys really pulled it out. I'm sure that this has to be a big confidence boost your team after, losing to Jinx, and now you come back and beat the number one team in the state. What's that got to do for you going into the rest of the district?
Yeah, I think so. I think we definitely needed some confidence. These kids, as I had said earlier to someone, that this group of seniors have lost 11 ball games in the last few years. Their senior year in Owasso, and we lost 2. So, we'd gone through some growing pains, and I'm so proud of our kids, and just ask them to believe that they're a good football team. We felt like we had one, and definitely want to temper that when it's only week 4. But man, given what we could have done tonight, our kids did great, and we'll take that credit, and hopefully we'll be able to build on it too.
Hey, Coach, I know you got to be proud of your kids on both sides of the ball, but that performance on the defensive side of the ball, impressive overall. But how about the rush defense? 39 yards rushing on, I believe it's 33 yards or 33 carries. That's pretty dominant performance by your defense tonight.
Yeah, the guys up front did a really good job, and the bye week probably helped us some. I mean, our coaching staff did a great job on the defensive side. Coach Nate Foster and Jeff Brown and those guys up front with Dee Mashburn and did a great job really teaching the kids the things that they need to do to try to fit against the run, and again, just proud of them. I mean, it was more than anything. Somebody asked me what our game plan was. Our game plan was play hard. I mean, we just felt like against Jinx we didn't play as hard as we should, and really, really proud of our kids and the way they responded.
Well, Coach, in the first hour, Chris Lincoln gave our Martinez Agency Player of the Game honor to your kicker because he sealed the deal. Would you go with that tonight?
Hey, TJ did a great job and has, in the first few games of the year on the field goals has really helped us out and kept us alive in the red zone. And he's kicked for us the last couple of years, and really proud of him. It's fun to see that ball go through the side.
Absolutely. It doesn't get any less exciting next week with Broken Arrow.
Yeah, we actually they're in the other district. So
they're playing Jinx. I'm sorry. All these
that's
these
okay.
are running together, Coach. Who do
that's
you have
all right.
next
We
week?
all of these guys up here, we all play each other and fight it out. We've got Putnam City, so
yes.
So we'll get excited to head down. It'll actually be our first road game. So we've been at home here in the big house, since we built this thing, and it would be the first time for us to get on the road.
I told somebody earlier this evening, I guess when you spend that much on a stadium, you probably get to play it 5 times in a row. So,
that sounds good, guys.
That has to be a great place to play real quickly. I know you enjoying all the new changes and renovations to Union Tuttle Stadium.
It really is. We're really blessed, and I know we're biased. There's nothing like a game here, and hopefully we get to play a lot of them.
All right, Coach, good luck at Putnam City next week.
Thank you.
All right, that is Kirk Frederick. He is the head coach of the Union football team. Big winners over Owasso tonight, 10-7, as number 3 Union taking down number 1 Owasso Rams this evening. Let's go down south. The Ardmore Tigers in action tonight, and the great Bryson Coldwell is the voice of that team. How are you, sir?
Oh, we're doing good, Grant. Southbound 35, I don't know, we're like Goldsby or something like that.
Yeah, you didn't bring us anything from the Rusty Barrel last week after we heard that Cody was going there. You texted us later. Did he end up keeping his reservation the next day?
Yeah, so Cody went to the Rusty Barrel. Cody thought it was good. That was the best steak I've had in a long time. Thanks for the recommendation.
Rub it in. We see how you are. Well, let's talk a little football.
Now, you don't have a gas station sponsor, right?
No, we don't.
All right. Well, then I'll bring you some baked lays from the Loves that we just scoffed off at.
Perfect.
It's so comparable.
You're probably somewhere around the Chickasaw Nation convenience store down there at Paul's Valley or something. So
hey, absolutely, we love it in Chickasaw country. But anyway, the Ardmore Tigers they played Southeast tonight, and boy, it was the best Southeast team I think the Ardmore Tigers have played in. I don't even know how long, probably 20 years.
Well, give us a Martinez Agency Player of the Game. Who was that in that 56-28 win?
that's going to have to be number 25, C.J. Williams. Stepped in for the Anton Scallion tonight and had 19 rushes for 184 yards and a touchdown on top of that, and really just kind of showed that depth that they have at that position, and also obviously the offensive line did an outstanding job.
All right, next up for Ardmore.
It's homecoming in Ardmore, America. We got the Duncan Demons.
Duncan Demons coming to town. Well, you guys have a safe trip home. Appreciate you being with us. And we'll take that bag of Lay's chips next time we're together. So
sounds good. Hey, for real, thank you all so much for having us on.
Anytime. Bryson. Thank you. Bryson Colwell, Cody Steele joining us from the Ardmore Tiger Radio Network this evening. It is 11:09 coming up. We've got Callaway, voice of Newcastle. We've got Neiman Evaldi from Cashin. Tony Wilson from Chandler's going to join us. I think Chris Ruwalt from Alva going to join us as well, as we've got plenty of time here on the Prep Sports Post Game, hour number 2. And I believe Josh Callaway's on the line with us. Josh, how are you?
Doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Good, man. Good. How about those Newcastle Racers tonight?
Yeah, I mean, another kind of the same as the last couple of weeks for Newcastle. I mean, obviously a really rough stretch on the schedule here to open up your year. I mean, you're talking about Tuttle, Blanchard, and Clinton 3 straight weeks. I mean, that's about as good of a 3-game stretch as you're going to get in 4A. And this game was very similar to the last couple in that Newcastle did some good things, but really, honestly, probably the single big thing is self-inflicted mistakes, especially penalties. I mean, Newcastle likes to run the football, and just common sense would tell you they need to stay ahead of the chains to continue to work their way down the field. And so holding calls and personal fouls, which is, late hits, stuff like that, getting 1st and 20, 1st and 25, that's bad news for Newcastle. And that was a lot of that tonight. I mean, they got off to a good start, jumped out 6-0 early after a missed extra point. But then Clinton settled in, and tell you what, the Tornadoes have got a legit running attack. Caden Powell, who's been the quarterback there forever, he's huge. I compared him to Big Ben Roethlisberger on the broadcast. He's like the biggest guy out there, and he's the quarterback. They could do QB sneaks for 6-7 yards at a time. Their run game was ridiculous. They were able to run down the field pretty much all night long, got a 28-6 lead. And Newcastle, give them credit, they did work back. They scored a touchdown and cut it to a 2-score game and actually had the ball back and were driving late to try and make it a 1-score game, but an interception with about 2 minutes left to play iced the game for Clinton. So, I mean, kind of the same old for Newcastle. I mean, some good things, but just far too many mistakes offensively in terms of penalties and just kind of big negative plays that put them behind the sticks. And defensively, they were okay at times, but for the most part, Clinton will kind of have their way running the football. They're going to be a fun team to watch all year long, the Tornadoes, because they have 2 dynamic running backs. And then when you add in Caden Powell, who's a really good running quarterback of his own, that's a fun offense to watch, even despite the fact that they barely threw the ball at all tonight.
Josh, who's your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight?
I guess I would go with Caden Powell. It's kind of the easy answer. He's a fun quarterback to watch because he's so unique. I mean, he's a 4-year starter at Clinton. And like I said, they did not air it out at all tonight. It was a ton of QB run game. Out of the I formation, it was almost like I'm watching Navy or Army or something like that, like a military academy play offense. The way they run the football and the way they do misdirection and stuff like that. They're an interesting team, and they're going to be fun to watch all year long. But he was fantastic tonight. Him using his size and making good reads, going on those kind of read option type plays. He was a lot of fun, and he's going to be interesting to watch, I think. On Clinton's a sneaky team. Last year, they turned it on right at the end of the year to kind of make that big run to the state championship after they were kind of a little bit uneven throughout the season. They're an interesting team to watch here coming up through the rest of district play. I'm excited to watch them play more top talent like, other teams later on down the line into the postseason.
All right, Josh, appreciate you being with us tonight.
I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Josh.
We've got more coming up on the Prep Sports Post Game on the Game Day Oklahoma Network.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at aspenhealthrehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
professor.
Why did we choose Rogers State University?
I like the smaller classes.
I like a professor who knows me by name.
I like living on campus.
I like receiving financial aid to help me with tuition.
Discover RSU for yourself.
Our education, our goals, our future. It all starts here. Your future begins now at Rogers State University in Northeast Oklahoma. In-state tuition available. Learn more at rsu.edu.
When Oklahoma companies need a copier, they choose NES. NES has an exciting new partnership that is saving clients time and money. Owner Eddie Silkey is here to tell us more about the Epson difference.
They have come up with a patented technology called Precision Core. It's a heat-free technology. It's affordable. It is easy to use. From a service perspective, very few parts that need to be replaced. It's a simple device.
Find out more by calling 918-665-5502 today.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff chat live with a new chat forum or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always know the score with Squirtle.
Your flagship station for Oklahoma Sooner Sports, 107.7 The Franchise.
Hello, Oklahoma. It's Brian Pritchard here at Automax Hyundai of Norman with Roy Williams. Roy, did you know that Automax is the #1 volume Hyundai dealer in Oklahoma?
Are you kidding me, Brian? How do you do it? Give me a couple of reasons why.
How about a brand new 21 Tucson Limited? Take $5,000 off and still get 2.5% financing. Most dealers give you the option of one or the other. At Automax Hyundai in Norman, we give you both.
I'm going to give you my Ric Flair on this one. Woo! Be a part of our winning team here at Automax Hyundai in Norman.
And remember, every new Hyundai comes with America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty plus Hyundai Assurance. Come see us. We're open every night until 9 at Automax Hyundai on the Mile of Cars, or check us out 24/7 at AutomaxHyundaiNorman.com.
Tucson stock number HN13633, 60 months at 2.5% rebate. Supply WAC.
The deals are automatic at Automax.
The deals are automatic at Automax.
Lock Supply in Oklahoma City is the Southwest premier provider of plumbing, electrical, and HVAC supplies. Since 1955, Lock Supply has grown from a small store in Bartlesville to over 180 branches in 7 states, employing over 1,300 employee owners. Are you ready to consider a career where hard work and loyalty matter? Work for a company that is driven to make sure that the team members have the ability to retire comfortably. Thought what it would be like to work at a 100% employee-owned company? Lock Supply has many incredible full-time opportunities at local branches or in their warehouse. With medical benefits, a 401k program, and an employee stock ownership plan. Lock Supply is not just a great place to work, it's a great place to have a career. For more information, visit locksupply.com and follow the link under career, or just email your resume to careers@locksupply.com. Again, that's careers@LOCKE supply.com.
It's 11:17 on great stations across the great state of Oklahoma. Prep Sports Postgame presented by Aspen Health and Rehab. I'm Grant Merrill. He is Randy Heights. Eric King punching all the buttons and making us sound good tonight.
You know, Grant, the only thing better than week 1 of district play is that final week when you're sitting in here trying to do all the math and figure out the playoff bracket before you get off the air.
You have like an abacus that you bring into the studio, don't you? Slide rule,
Exactly.
Maybe? Yeah.
Well, it's kind of great when you get all the ones that are already full, and then you're like, great. Then you got those 2 teams vying for like 1 spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just lovely.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Cashin and Watonga battling it out tonight. Cashin with a 56-34 win from Cashin Wildcats TV. Nima Devada coming on with us. How are you, Nima?
I'm doing great, Grant and Randy. Thanks for having me again. This is fantastic.
Hey, I'd love to have you, man.
We're glad you're here. Tell us about this ball game tonight. I'm sitting here reading some of the stats on Twitter, and my gosh, you guys really racked up numbers tonight.
Yeah, it was a huge offensive night. It was homecoming. Obviously, we crowned a king and queen, and a lot more was done on the field after homecoming. It was a fantastic night for Lynn Shackelford and the Cashin Wildcats, amassed 570 total yards, put up 56 points leading into the 4th quarter, let the JD have it. Got a couple late scores with Tonga in the fourth quarter, but it was a nice opening to district play against. I'm going to tell you guys right now, Watonga is going to be a team. Skylar Watson in his first year with Joe Jackson at quarterback and senior DeAndre Dunn. They're a fantastic crew. They're going to be a team to look out for in District A3 for sure.
Who is your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask me. This is a tough one. When you put up 570 yards, it would be easy to go with our man Ben Harmon, the senior, was 26-32 for 324 yards, 6 touchdowns. We used him last time, so I'm going to look to someone else. I battled between my own boy Nick Nabavi, who had 132 yards and 2 TDs, but I think we're going to go with it is a good night, but even surpassed by that was Landon Lagasse, senior wide receiver, been amazing this year on an absolute tear on what I would probably call out one of the better offenses in Class A. 15 catches, 154 yards, and 5 TDs. So a great night for Landon again tonight. So he'll be our player of the game.
All right, brother. Next up for Cashin. Sorry, Randy.
Cashin's on the road about 20 minutes southwest to OCA. We'll be playing in the beautiful Edmond North facility, taking on a resurgent OCA team. I think they're undefeated. I think they won tonight. They've got some new coaches and some new players. So we're looking forward to the test down in Edmond next Friday night.
Hey, man, I'm glad you guys are having success. Got a family friend that lives in Cashin, Megan Bradley, and their family, the Maxons, as well as their mother. So how was follow along with the Cashin team a little bit there?
Well, you're Randy, you're more than welcome to come out. You can come up in the booth with us. You want to come follow the Cashin softball team. They're having a great season, as well as Coach Chambers moving on to regionals down at AMPO. So we love you. In fact, we have some Maxons here at the house tonight enjoying the cool evening. So, Randy, come on out to Cashin. Hey, come on out anytime.
And Nima, fun fact, you named your homecoming king queen tonight. Randy was actually 4th runner-up for homecoming king to Southmore.
Jeez, no, Westmore. It would have been Westmore.
Westmore.
I'm too old for Southmore. It did not exist.
hey, 4th runner-up is better than no runner-up.
Exactly.
So I'm glad you're out there, Randy.
All right, thanks, Nima.
Thanks for having me, guys. Hey, listen, continue the great work. I absolutely love the platform. I know a ton of Cashin folks, they jump on and listen. So thanks so much for all your support of prep hoops or prep football here in Oklahoma.
All right, we'll be doing prep hoops too.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Very good. Thanks, guys. Good night.
All right, see ya.
Cashin Wildcats TV is where Nima is every week, and we appreciate him being on with us here tonight. It is 11:21 here on the Prep Sports Post Game. Did I miss? Do we have somebody on hold yet, or do we need to keep talking? Oh, Lugnut's on.
Man, Lugnut.
All right. Well, let's by all means talk a little Chandler football tonight with the great Tony Wilson.
Yeah. It's either that, or you may not realize it real fast. Tony can talk Chandler football, or you can go into his multiple food trucks and talk about those as well, I'm sure.
Either one I can. Both are appealing to me at the moment. I only ate pizza.
You want me to bring the pizza trailer up for you, and what kind would you like? I'll just bring it up there.
Bring it on.
I tell you what, you just bring all your trucks up one night, and we'll have like a food festival outside the studio.
Let's do it. Hey, I kind of feel for Randy because 4th runner-up. I finished 3rd in the 2-person race once. So Man, speaking of races, we had one tonight in Chandler, guys. 18-16 is not indicative of how this game finished or how it went either way. But the Crossings came to town, and for our first district game, and the Lions jumped out to an early 6-0 lead on a 6-yard Caden Jones run. And it seems like each and every week that I call into these shows, the 2 words that I keep repeating are Caden Jones. I mean, he's our do-everything senior quarterback, state qualifier in track, high jump, open quarter. I mean, the kid's a tremendous athlete to give us a lead at 2:03 left in the first. Then a 40-yard touchdown from Drew Wood to Mason Snyder made it 7-6 after the PAT for the Knights with 5:06 to go in the second. A Matt Jolliffe 23-yard field goal with 1:23 left in the second makes it a halftime score 10-6. Lions offense, guys, was moving the football, but we just get down there to the 30-yard line, and next thing I know, we had 3 penalties called against us, and we're 40 yards back from where we started. It was one of the wildest first halves I've ever seen. The accepted penalties were 15 for 150 for both teams combined. That doesn't count the ones that offset that were declined or anything like that, but the first half took almost an hour and 20 minutes. I mean, I've been on the Chandler sidelines for 35 years going, and I said on our broadcast tonight, I said, I've never witnessed anything like this. So the first possession in the second half comes out, and the Knights go in for a 22-yard Snyder touchdown run to make it 16-6, and the Lion offense had been pretty stagnant. Well, here comes the fourth quarter. So with 5:21 left, that guy again, Caden Jones to Drake Rodriguez on a 7-yard touchdown pass, a 2-point attempt, which would have made it, a big difference, failed 16-12. So now the Lions are in a situation of they have to, A, get the football back, and B, go score. Well, A happens on a 4th and 3 call by the Knights. The Lion defense stiffens up and holds, and by a yard short and takes over on about 38, 39-yard line. One of the most unsuspecting people to catch a pass on the sideline caught the pass for the Lions on a 38-yard catch, and that was Dalton Fauble, our senior tight end. And, he gets some action. He's pretty much the guy that does the work all the time, but sometimes Coach Barry will sneak him out there, and he made a tremendous catch right in front of us on the sideline. And, guys, he was in by a millimeter. And we were lucky enough to be able that our delay on our broadcast we were able to watch it again. Athletic Director Jeff Matheny and I, and he was in. I mean, it was just an incredible catch. I was like, I'm not even still sure how he caught it. So now the Lions in a 3rd and 10 situation, Jones goes back to pass, drops the football. One of the linemen for the Lions picks up the football and rumbles for 6 yards. So now from where he was, it makes it 4th and 8, and, you still got hope. So Jones goes back to pass looking for Rodriguez again, who adjusts to the football, and the crossings defenders in front of him and impedes his path to the ball, and they throw the flag for a 15-yard penalty, and the Lions first down. And Jones finds just a crease in the defense at 4 yards out with 1:12 to make it their final score, 18-16. And, I mean, the resiliency there in the fourth quarter to finally get something going was really great for the Lions to pick up a district win.
All right, next up for Chandler.
We get the fun trek over into Oklahoma County and fight the Jones Longhorns.
Oh,
there
boy.
you go.
All right.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. But, yeah, well, I'll try to get that pizza trailer up there, Randy, in the neighborhood, and we'll see what's going on up there.
Sounds good, man. Thanks,
Thanks,
Tony.
guys. Appreciate you. Have a
See
good
you,
night.
Lugnut.
Tony Wilson joining us here tonight. It's 11:27. Let's go back to the phone lines. Braden Conover had Carl Albert and Guyman tonight. How are you, Braden?
I'm good, guys. How are y'all?
Good. Now, did you go to Guyman, or did they come to you?
Fortunately, we did not have to make the 5.5 hour drive.
I was going to say, I could tell you didn't go to Guyman. You're too happy.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I'm making the trek to Texas right now, so I might as well have taken a bus ride today. So.
Yeah, you're going to Cleveland, whatever.
Yeah, got to go cheer on my Browns.
Well, there you go. Well, tell us about your game tonight. How about Carl Albert?
You know what? I think I'm probably the only guy in the world that can be kind of pissed off about a 42-6 win. Yeah, the Titans, they just look like a shell of what they have been the past 5 years, winning 5 straight 5A titles. But, big game coming up against Guthrie. That's obviously going to be a big rivalry game. Hasn't been for probably the senior class. It hasn't really been a rivalry game, but nonetheless. But Guyman really had control of that first half. They kept possession for well over, 15 minutes of that first half, and it was only 21-0 at the end of the second quarter for the Titans. It was just kind of a bizarre. Kind of had the vibes of OU Army a couple years ago, where they just couldn't get anything going defensively. That front seven for the Titans just kind of got beat up for that, and finally they turned it on in the second.
All right, your Martinez Agency player of the game tonight. Who's that going to be?
Definitely going to be Xavier Robinson coming in for Kentrell Bazell, who actually sat this week just to keep him healthy.
Wow.
But the sophomore had over 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as a couple of receiving yards. So definitely a deep running back room in Midwest City at Carl Albert.
I was going to say just real fast. So Bazell set tonight, and you guys still did that? I know Guyman's not a world beater, but that's impressive.
Yeah, Bazell sat, and they're still waiting on Tayshawn James to come back, who's their number 1 wide receiver. So,
all right,
big things coming for Carl Albert, hopefully.
Have fun in Cleveland.
Yeah, enjoy your weekend.
Appreciate it. Go Browns.
There you go. Braden Conover joining us here this evening. All right, we are about a minute away. Chris Ruwald is going to join us after the break, and we will talk a little bit about Alba's big win over Newkirk tonight. Of course, Chris from KRDR up in Alba, and he's the color man for that broadcast. Let's go on tomorrow. Of course, Oklahoma taking on West Virginia tomorrow night. Expanded coverage on many of these same stations. Oklahoma State and Kansas State tomorrow afternoon. TU taking on Arkansas State.
You know, it's kind of sad. Both those the two Big 12 schools playing 30 minutes apart. It's like fans can't even enjoy both games. You know, sit and watch them both.
And then I hope that the Arkansas Razorbacks end up beating Texas A&M.
That would be funny.
That would be nice to.
Nothing like watching A&M fans cry.
Well, yeah, and I mean we could tell some Aggie jokes if things gets a little short in the.
You pretty much just say
Texas
A&M. Isn't that a joke on its own?
Yeah,
yeah.
We'll go over a couple of B scores and C scores here later in the show as well, and we've got plenty to do here in the next little bit. But our big highlights again: Kirk Frederick joining us earlier in the hour. Also, falling to his Union football team, 10-7, the final score in that one. Choctaw beating Booker T. Washington tonight, 29-20, the final. Hang with us. We've got more of the Prep Sports Post Game straight ahead. Chris Ruwald on the other side of this break. This is the Game Day Oklahoma Network.
Dr. Matt Dieselhorst at Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics can help you get game day ready. Dr. Dieselhorst works with athletes of all ages, taking a coordinated approach to accelerate return to play and maximize athletic performance. His work with pros in sports training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehabilitation, and imaging works seamlessly with his medical and surgical expertise. Get started by going to Dieselhorst Sports and Orthopedics. Let Dr. Matt Dieselhorst get you back on the field, backing all Oklahoma athletes on the field and off.
Let's face it, high school and college sports have changed, and if you plan on taking your talents to the next level, marketing is the name of the game. That is where the Martinez Agency comes in. The Martinez Agency is one of the fastest growing sports marketing firms in the region and can help you set up marketing avenues for your athlete. From player websites to navigating the ever-changing rules of name, imaging, and likeness to generating sponsorship dollars, the Martinez Agency does it all. Athletes, it is time to share your brand story. Log on to martinez-agency.com. Find out how today.
If you're a coach or athletic director, this message is for you. Legacy Entertainment has provided light and sound for Oklahoma's hottest concerts for years, but now they're helping schools just like yours elevate their game day atmosphere. From providing light and sound systems to coordinating your team's run through with fog machines and the hottest elements out there, they'll make sure Friday nights are never the same again. They've helped schools like OU, and they'll help you too. Check them out at legacyllc.net. Legacy Entertainment, where every day is game day.
As the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority continues infrastructure modernization, there's never been a better time to have a Pike Pass. Pike Pass account holders enjoy the best toll rates available and interoperability with Kansas and Texas. Open a Pike Pass account today at pikepass.com. Create your own Oklahoma adventure on Amtrak's Heartland Flyer. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, plug-in power, big windows, comfy seats, and 5 stops in Oklahoma. Experience a better way to travel. Book today at Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer.
Mountains, I get to see this with my wow.
Just going for a run and working out and not having to worry about my contacts or my glasses.
What will you do with your clear sight?
We've done whitewater rafting, and that would have been impossible. In fact, you aren't allowed to wear glasses during it.
Life after LASIK means life without limits for patient after patient after patient. Thanks to Dr. Luke and his team at ClearSight.
Patients are able to say, this is what I can now do with my clear vision. Flying without glasses for the first time, or they're climbing a mountain without glasses. They're able to travel. They're able to go to the lake. This is what I can do with my clear sight.
It starts with a free, no obligation eye exam.
Now, I make sure to text every single one of my patients with my personal cell, and sometimes they'll send me pictures or videos.
Have your free exam at ClearSight by September 30th and get a new pair of Maui Jim, Ray-Ban, or K-Space sunglasses on us when you have your LASIK.
Go out the door and just live my life to the fullest.
Call 733-2020 or visit clearsight.com.
I mean, every day it's something new. I'm discovering new things with my new eyes.
Ken Boyer is everywhere. When a loved one has stumbled and ends up in jail, call Ken Boyer. Take the bail. For immediate bonding day or night, look no further than Ken Boyer Bail Bonds. With over 35 years experience, let Ken and his professional staff help you. Open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, accepting all major credit cards. Conveniently located just 3 blocks north of the jail at the corner of Northwest 6th and Chartel. The right bondsman can make a difference. Call Ken Boyer Bail Bonds.
Gotta move it? Oklahoma Trailers Direct. Gotta haul it?
Oklahoma Trailers Direct. Gotta tow it? Oklahoma Trailers Direct. People come from all over to buy from Oklahoma Trailers Direct for their value, price, quality, and selection. They offer financing and rent-to-own options that require no credit check. Yep, everyone is approved. Come on down to Oklahoma Trailers Direct, 2890 Melville Lane in Norman. Online at oktrailersdirect.com or give them a jingle at 405-701-9927. Open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 and Saturday, 9 to 1. Oklahoma Trailers Direct.
Bottom of the hour prep postgame on the Game Day Oklahoma Network. It is big night, opening night of district play across the great state of Oklahoma. I'm Grant Merrill. Randy Heights joining us. Eric King punching all the buttons and making us sound good. We go to the northwestern corner of the state where Alva's Gold Bugs whooped up on Newkirk tonight, and a man who saw it was the pastor of the First Baptist Church of Alva, also the color commentator on KRDR 105.7 for Gold Bug Sports, and that's Chris Ruwalt. And how are you, Chris?
I'm good, fellas. Listen, when we all wake up in Alva tomorrow, the sun's going to be a little bit brighter, the birds are singing a little sweeter, the grass is a little greener because the Gold Bugs won.
Well, there you go. Give us the highlights tonight.
Well, Gold Bugs just kind of came out and did what you'd really want them to do, especially for the first district game. They really took control of the game, marched down the field from the opening possession, and didn't punt until late in the fourth quarter with all the young guys in, and just really took over the game from the beginning. Outgained Newkirk tonight, 507 yards to about 132, and just really dominated on both sides of the ball. It was good to see.
And Martinez Agency Player of the Game, who's that going to be tonight?
Well, yeah, we went with Drake Warden, junior running back. He had 157 yards on 22 carries, and really just, especially the second half, Grant, just really took the game over and just really wore down the Newkirk Tigers. All right, and next up for Alva. Well, we got the Oklahoma Christian School Saints.
Okay.
In the great city of Alva. So we'll play them next week, and they're probably the best team in the district, I think. But we'll take our best shot at them.
And the Rangers at home against East Central tomorrow, right?
Yep. It's got a busy football weekend in Alva.
And then church on Sunday at First Baptist.
And then church on Sunday, we'll be talking about Gideon, and we'll save you a seat, Grant.
I may be at Bedside Baptist watching TV, but I will definitely take in any knowledge I can of the great Gideon. So.
Hey, listen, tell Reverend Sheets I said hello.
I will. Thank you.
Hey, and I will join you. This is one time I'll join you on rooting for the Razorbacks.
Yes.
There you go.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, teach little brother lesson.
There you go. Yeah, he's a Longhorn fan. Don't mind him. Don't mind him.
Oh, come on, guys. Come on.
All right. Well, appreciate you, Chris. Thank you.
All right, fellas. Y'all have a good night.
All right, see ya. Chris Ruwalt joining us. All right, let's go next up to who we got here?
Mr. Welch.
Mr. Welch, Big Ben Welch, the voice of Tonkawa, joining us, 104.7 The Bull in Ponca City tonight. How are you, Big Ben?
Hey, I'm doing well. Doing well tonight.
Well, you guys got yourselves a win this evening.
Yeah, the Morrison Wildcats came to town, a 1-2 record. Better than that 1-2 record is one of those losses there for Morrison. It was to the OCS Saints, as previously mentioned, there by the Alva Goldbug guy there. So Tonkawa just came out. Their defense sets the tone early, give up a lot of yards there on that first drive, but then they bow up when necessary, keep them out of the end zone. Tonkawa kept Morrison out of the end zone, but then Tonkawa started off deep in their own possession, deep in their own territory, and then not a lot of coming. Offense, Morrison really dominated the field position game in the first half, but Tonkawa still took a one-score lead into halftime. And then after that, Tonkawa just dominated and pulled away. It was a 3-score game late, and then Morrison got a late touchdown there to make that game closer than what it really was.
And who's your Martinez Agency Player of the Game tonight, Ben?
Well, it was tough. I almost gave it to senior Kai Day again. He had a heck of a game, a lot of big impacts. So I'm going with junior running back Roman Chandler, the transfer in from Wichita, 3 touchdowns. If I had to guess, probably north of 150 yards rushing. So dominant game there from my Chandler, and the Buccaneer offensive line gets a shout out as well.
All right, next up for Tonkawa.
The Crescent Tigers come to town as Talkwall will kick off District A3 competition. So,
all right,
it ought to be a fun one. And also to the Gold Bug, it says the Texas program, you can't call anybody little brother.
Well, not this year.
Oh,
Not
look at all the
this
trash
year.
talk.
You're going to be fighting with the preacher here before long. So anyway,
Hey, I'll say my good night prayers before I go to bed.
There you go. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
All right. From Big Ben Welch, we go to Big Ben Buckland, the voice of the Winoka Railroaders. How are you, Benjamin?
Not bad. Early night for me. I've been waiting. Excuse me for you guys, but we called it a little bit after halftime.
Well, we know the Winoka nightlife keeps you up on Fridays, so we didn't figure that you'd be gone to bed just yet. So.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
How about those Railroaders? 46-0 over Beaver tonight.
46-0, and my player of the game is the guy that ended it. Robert Perot took a kick 82 yards to put up the last few digits that made it 46, and that ended the night. And that's my player of the game. One of 3 seniors on the Winoka roster. Perot does a little bit of everything. In fact, he got to play quarterback tonight a little bit also.
Wow. Well,
so the Beaver Dusters still looking for their first win, and everybody's in district play now. Next week, we'll be taking that journey to Boise City, Oklahoma. District play there also.
Oh, you've got to go to Boise City?
No, I get to. I get to go.
Get to go to Boise City. Okay.
Is that really anything that's ever said? I get to go to Boise City?
Does that game kick off in Central or Mountain Time, Ben?
I'm going to get there way early just in case.
Just in case. Okay. All right. Well, if you need any bail money out in Boise City, don't call me. I'm not coming out there. So. All right, Ben.
I get that a lot. I'm listening to you guys. Great fun tonight. Thank you.
All
Thanks,
right, brother.
Ben.
Thank you.
And my traffic logs being busy messed up next week is our young lady that does traffic logs for us.
Yes.
From Boise City.
She may be upset. I think one of my dentists is from Boise City over in Owasso, too. All right, let's go next on the phone lines. A man who announced this week that he has just taken a high-profile position with the Tulsa World and will be leaving one part of the state for the other, and that's Bryce McKinnis. Bryce, first of all, congratulations on the new gig, sports editor and copy editor over at the Tulsa World.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
Well, glad to have you on with us tonight. Who'd you cover this evening?
I was at Mustang at Norman North, second week in a row at Harv Collins.
I was like, what getting? You get the crazy games every week, Bryce. That's why I had to get you on again.
Last week I thought was the craziest game I'd ever seen until tonight.
Well, you may want to rethink that Tulsa World thing if they're going to keep sending you to games like this, man. This is quite the schedule for you. Well, give us the rundown on Mustang and Norman North. This had to be a big shootout.
Okay, so I'll keep it as brief as possible this week. But basically what happened was Mustang took a 21-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Norman North stormed back. They put 20 on the board. They went for 2 and didn't get it. Onside attempt didn't go for them. Kind of looked like Mustang had the opportunity to run out the clock up 1 with about a minute and a half left. Quarterback Tristan Russell takes the snap. He gets upfield. He kind of breaks some tackles, and I think for him, it almost felt like he broke loose on accident because it was really kind of just supposed to be a play where he ran the clock out for Mustang. He gets downfield, is running towards the end zone, kind of prancing his way at about the 5-yard line. And keep in mind, this would be to go up. This would be to put the game out of reach with 50 seconds left.
Right.
A Norman North defender pokes the ball out, and Norman North recovers it at the 1. They go on a series of unbelievable plays. They get all the way down to the Mustang 5. They're called for 12 men on the field while players trying to run off the field while they're trying to spike it. Clock runs down to 3. They elect to go for a field goal.
Oh, wow.
It was from the 3-yard line. It looked like they didn't really get the hold in the spot that they wanted it if they would have got to get the snap off, because it was only an 18-yard kick. So it looked like it was only about 5 yards from the snap to the hold, but it didn't matter as they reset the chains and the clock ran down and the clock ran out on them. And it was kind of confusing what was going on in the field at first from the perspective of the press box, but the officials kind of talk amongst them for a second, and then you just see all 11 Mustang players start dashing towards their sideline with their hands in the air and cheering, and that was ball game. So wow. Mustang comes away with this one 49-48 and a huge win for them.
All right. Can you name a player of the game tonight? Who would that be? Brought to you by the Martinez Agency.
My player of the game would be Jay Bedford for Mustang. Running back had 4 touchdowns on the night. I haven't tallied up his stats yet, but he had well over 100 yards rushing. He broke off numerous big plays, had a ton of first down for them. So he's the clear choice for player of the game. And I interviewed him after. He had mentioned that he took offense to the fact that Norman North was only going to put 6 in the box to try and stop Mustang's run game. And that was kind of his inspiration for the night. He lived up to the challenge.
All right. Well, Bryce, when do you start in Tulsa?
I start October 14th.
Okay.
Well, let's hope you get this seems in Tulsa.
Yeah. We'll make sure he gets the exciting games up there. I mean, that's Barry Lewis and Mike Brown kind of hog some of the big ones, but we'll see if we can convince them to let you in on some of the excitement up there. So.
I'm sure they'll let me get in on. There's a lot of good football up there, but there's a lot of good football here too, and a lot of people, I think, take that for granted on this side of the state. So I appreciate you guys again for having me on.
And also, when I go home and I climb next to the ball coach the volleyball coach at Edison, who I'm married to, she'd like some coverage for her games too. I'll just put that out there as well, since we have you right here on the spot. So.
Hey, I'll go ahead and keep that one on my mind for future reference.
There you go. All right, lunch is on me when you get into town, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Bryce McKenna is soon to be of the Tulsa World, formerly of the Daily Oklahoman, or up until
will be formerly.
Yeah, will be formerly of the Daily Oklahoman.
And speaking of that, we're going to have Cameron Jordan on the other side.
Is Cameron on with us?
Well, don't we have a break we have to get to?
Yeah, we do. Coming in a minute and a half. Okay. So there you go.
We'll get him on the other side of the break. But yeah, it should be a nice little recap for the week, don't you think?
Yes. Since we had some time, let's do some quick C football scores. Since we had Ben Buckland on just a moment ago, I had somebody text me and ask me about a few of them. Sharon Mutual beats Buffalo tonight 40-22. Mountain View Gotebo beating Waurika 70-38. Thackerville beats Ryan 58-26. Temple over Granfield 50-0. We heard from Ben Buckland, Winoka beating Beaver 46-0. Saskwa beating Coyle 76-42, the final score there. Graham Dustin beats Wilson tonight 36-14. Medford over Deer Creek Lamont 46-0. Blue Jacket beats Copan 60-6. Maysville beating Fox tonight 58-24. Maud beats Oaks 32-16. Tyrone beats Boise City 39-12. Wesley Christian beating Welch 54-8. Timberlake beating South Coffeyville 58-8. And those are the scores in Class C. I think we got all of them.
I think we did. Yeah, it was a good day.
All right. So coming up on the other side of the break, Cameron Jordan joins us for our final segment, and we will talk a little bit about all of the opener of district play this week as we move through the course of the show. Press Sports Post Game. It is all brought to you by Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow and a number of great sponsors statewide on 22 great radio stations on the Game Day Oklahoma Network.
When your health throws you a curveball, many times outpatient rehab is your best option. Aspen Health and Rehab in Broken Arrow is changing the way that Oklahoma families are thinking about long-term care. With every amenity of home, first-class dining, and professionals that put your care first, Aspen Health and Rehab is ready to take on your personalized plan of care. Check them out today at aspenhealthrehab.com. Aspen Health and Rehab, where healthcare and luxury come together.
Squirtle is Oklahoma's premium scoring app for high school sports statewide. Through Squirtle, not only can sports fans check their team's scores, rankings, district standings, and schedules, they can find state playoff brackets, chat live with a new chat forum, or use the new fan poll to pick individual game winners. Updates are rolling out regularly, keeping the app fresh and current. Know the score of games across Oklahoma. Download the Squirtle app now for free in the Apple or Android store. Always more with Squirtle.
Why did we choose Rogers State University?
I like the smaller classes.
I like a professor who knows me by name.
I like living on campus.
I like receiving financial aid to help me with tuition.
Discover RSU for yourself.
Our education, our goals, our future. It all starts here. Your future begins now at Rogers State University in Northeast Oklahoma. In-state tuition available. Learn more at rsu.edu.
As the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority continues infrastructure modernization, there's never been a better time to have a Pike Pass. Pike Pass account holders enjoy the best toll rates available and interoperability with Kansas and Texas. Open a Pike Pass account today at pikepass.com. Create your own Oklahoma adventure on Amtrak's Heartland Flyer. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, plug-in power, big windows, comfy seats, and 5 stops in Oklahoma. Experience a better way to travel. Book today at Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer.
Looking forward to OU Texas? Dreading the I-5 traffic jam between here and the Cotton Bowl? Don't sit in gridlock. Let Amtrak get you there without the headache. Sit back, relax, and get the party started early with the Heartland Flyer Big Game Train to Dallas. Arrive in Dallas Friday, October 8th, and return Sunday, October 10th. It's like 2 extra days of tailgating. Visit Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer Big Game to save 15%. That's Amtrak.com/Heartland Flyer Big Game.
Turning pennies into cash for Thunderbird Casino.
Are you ready to make a fortune at Thunderbird Casino? Match 3 symbols and win up to $5,000 in cash every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Bring your luck and you could be dragging home a ton of cash. Thunderbird Casino in Norman. Come for fun, play to win.
Thunderbird Casino, where you go for fun, play to win.
Welcome home to Cross Timbers Apartments in South Oklahoma City. With an on-site dog park, business center, and on-site gym, you'll be glad you're living in Timbers Apartments. Located in the heart of South OKC on South May Avenue next to Pub W and a short walk from Early Wine Park. With quick access to I-240 and I-44, you can be at Dell or downtown in just minutes. Visit Cross Timbers today for a limited time special on our 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartments. Cross Timbers Apartments, a Case and Associates property.
And this week only, no deposit at Cross Timbers.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the freshest lineup of SUVs in America for everyone. Because the SUVs of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford SUVs, drive one today. Based on AutoSource Incorporated data obtained on 10/5/20. Visit your Oklahoma Ford dealer to take advantage of great offers available now on Ford Escape, Edge, Explorer, and Expedition. Choose from low financing and big cash rebates. See your best in Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
It's 11:52. Final segment of the Prep Sports Postgame on the Game Day Oklahoma Network. I'm Grant Merrill. He's Randy Heights. Eric King punching all the buttons, making us sound good. We go back to the final guest of the show, final segment of the show, and back to we go to a man who wasn't thinking about us or high school football this week. He was thinking about what shot he was going to take at TPC.
He had a nice beginning weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he wasn't hurting for entertainment this week. That's Cameron Jordan of the Daily Oklahoman. How are you, sir?
Oh, doing pretty well. Got to see a really fun game tonight, double overtime game. It was one of the best games I've ever been at personally, and covering something in Stillwater and Deer Creek. So doing pretty well. How are you guys?
Good, man.
We're doing well, and that one did go down to the wire tonight. Stillwater Pioneers, of course, coming off of that loss to Bixby, and then they end up winning tonight 35-28. Kind of give us the highlights, lowlights. How did that one look?
Yeah, Deer Creek actually took the lead early in the fourth quarter on an 80-yard touchdown pass from Brett Pence to Javion Jones. And really, at that point, they had done enough to slow down Stillwater's offense, and Stillwater just looked a little bit discombobulated. And I thought that Deer Creek had a really good chance to pull off an upset. They had a 66-yard punt with about a minute and a half to go and pinned Stillwater at their own 6-yard line. But Gundy had a 25-yard run on a 3rd and 15 and had a couple of really big passes, including an 11-yard touchdown with 8 seconds left. Eventually, after the PAT, the game was tied at 21. The teams both score in overtime on their first possession. Second possession, Stillwater scores a touchdown first, and then defense comes up with a big sack on first down, and then 3 straight incompletions from Deer Creek after being 20 yards from the end zone and having 3 plays to score to extend the game. So just a really overall a strong performance from Stillwater. Scored the final 3 times they had the ball after really not doing anything offensively or having turnovers from about the second quarter on.
Hey, Cameron, it's only week 1 of district play, and I know you were at that game, but you cover Oklahoma high school football across the board, and you're one of the guys there in charge of the top 10 that you guys do at the Oklahoman and everything. But from what you've seen so far, you feel any big shakeups coming in the rankings this week?
You know, obviously, I've had Owasso up at number 1 at 6A1 and 6A1, and with them falling in overtime to Union, probably going to be a little bit of a shakeup there. I thought as well. I've been really trying to see how Class 5A is going to shake out because I think the top teams are still. I kind of have Collinsville, Coweta, McGinnis, and Carl Albert up there as the top 5, but McAllister and Coweta being in the same district, I'm really looking forward to that matchup. I think it's still going to take a little bit of the season to progress to kind of see how that's going to unfold. Class 4A was a great game tonight between Tuttle and Cushing. Seeing that I actually picked Cushing to win that game. They were my state title pick at the beginning of the year, but Tuttle's defense was able to just shut down their offense. And I think Tuttle has a team that's capable of winning a state title. And I'd be surprised if those 2 teams end up meeting again down the road. I think also in class, going back to Class 5A, Guthrie had a big win tonight. I heard Braden earlier say, obviously, a big matchup against Carl Albert next week. Pryor also had a big win, knocking off Tahlequah. I don't think there wasn't anything crazy major that happened tonight. One of the big losses down in smaller classes, Hominy, which knocked off Pawhuska last week, actually lost to a previously winless Pawnee team tonight. So that was one of the bigger upsets tonight, and especially after a big win last week, I thought Hominy may have been really setting themselves up for a deep run come this second part of the season, but started off on the wrong foot with the loss. But not any huge shakeups. I mean, there's going to be some little movement here and there, but a lot, like you said, a lot of really big matchups here coming in these next few weeks. But it was definitely a really interesting first week of district play.
How surprising has Guthrie's start been for you this year?
You know, it's been really weird. A decade ago, everybody knows Guthrie was one of the best teams in the state. I think they won state titles in 2011 and 2013 and had a little bit of a dynasty going there. And they've dropped off in recent years, since Coach Watkins left and took the job at Muskogee, and he's now at Warner. And actually, Warner almost knocked off tonight in Class A, which would have been a pretty big upset too. But Guthrie, it's not really surprising. I mean, Coach Kelly Beebe has done a really good job with the program up there. Especially in the last 2 years since I've covered that program, they've dealt with injuries, been really young, just been one of those teams that has had a little bit of issues just kind of getting over that hump. But, this year, everything's kind of coming together. They're really strong on the defensive side of the ball. Defense puts their offense in great positions, and then they're just able to take their business on. I had a really tough defensive challenge against a Piedmont team that runs the flex bone, which gives a lot of opponents problems, and Guthrie handled it really well. And next week is going to be a really big test because I agree with Braden. This Carl Albert team is just not the same as the past 5 that have won state titles. Yeah, they do have an opportunity to still win a state championship, and until somebody actually matters in the playoffs, it doesn't matter. But Guthrie has a really big opportunity to make an early season statement to possibly compete for even a district title next week if they can go and knock off Carl Albert. So a little bit surprising, but I think that Guthrie is it could be their year to kind of get back on top and prove that they're one of the best teams in the state.
Season just starts to fly by when it gets going, and we're about halfway through it. It's definitely a lot of fun, and I know the Daily Oklahoman, plenty of coverage of prep sports across the state in tomorrow's paper.
Yeah, we're going to have, especially tomorrow too, going to have a bunch of roundup. We're going to have a couple of game stories in as well, just kind of from our different coverage areas tonight. I know Nick Sardis, one of our other writers, was down watching Washington and Purcell play, and Washington had a really big offense night. And then tomorrow is spent busy. I'll be re-ranking teams. We'll be going through and making phone calls to coaches and of games we couldn't cover, and kind of looking at who had some of the biggest stat performances to find out who to put in our Player of the Week poll. But yeah, plenty of plenty of content coming the next couple of days on Oklahoman.com and especially in Sunday's paper as well.
All right, Cameron, thank you for being with us. I'm glad you enjoyed your trip this week, and we will try to talk to you next Friday.
Sounds good. Appreciate it as always, guys.
All right. Thanks, Cameron.
Cameron Jordan joining us from the Daily Oklahoman. He is, of course, the big man with all things prep sports over there at the paper, and so we appreciate
a young man that's made a quick rise up the ranks from interning with me in Oklahoma City and myself and Jerry Ramsey to now the prep reporter for the Oklahoman.
If you can build a career after interning with Randy Heights, you can do anything.
Hey, so. Braden Conover's done the same thing. I've got a long list, man. Long
list. Well, what did we learn tonight? Anything stand out for you?
I mean, I think the things that stand out, it sounds like I'm repeating myself, but it goes back to Guthrie. I kind of wonder where they were at. Piedmont's not a world beater, but they did what they were supposed to do, getting that victory. Choctaw, I thought they were good athletically and everything, but I wasn't sure they were ready to take on a team and knock off a Booker T. What they did to them tonight, pretty impressive. So those are kind of like from the big school that I'm taking away from tonight.
Well, it wasn't a big surprise that a trap game ended up being Union for Owasso, but that was one that stood out to me, and we've got plenty as week 2 gets started next week. Thanks for being with us tonight. For all of our sponsors, for Eric King in the production booth and Randy Heights, I'm Grant Merrill saying good night. God bless you. Thanks for listening to the
KRXO FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media. Vote the franchise your favorite station for sports.
Football fans, download the Score app today for all the latest scores, news, and updates. Don't let the dog